What is happening, fish freaks? This is Dave from ADU+Aquascaping, and today we're going to be looking at the AquaticLife+halo fixture. As you saw in the video, I hope you enjoyed that intro video. They reached out to me, and I just want to say, guys, of course I'm not going to do some weird scripted marketing spiel. You know me, but I still feel like, you know, it's okay to do reviews on my channel. I think it's okay for people to send me products and everything like that. Especially since LEDs are starting to advance and we're starting to get into the LED age. Anyways, they reached out to me, Aquatic Life. My contact's awesome. He has a proactive attitude, guys. Just the way he's treated me alone, how easy he is to work with, how quick he is to respond, has just sold me on the company and everything they're doing with LEDs. They did a lot of research. They give a lot of awesome charts, dude. Some of the best par charts I've ever seen. They have really good par charts. They have really cool, different descriptive charts showing the different kinds of LEDs. And so let's just go over the fixture real quick. You know, it has some UV LEDs, which UV LEDs, UVA is actually shown to induce anthocyanin production and more so than UVB or more so than a dark blue light. And so UVA is going to produce that anthocyanin. Anthocyanin, of course, is red, purple, or blue pigments depending on the pH. I may do a whole video about plant pigments as well. I also want to do a video just to let you know real quick about how to be successful with moss, how to grow moss, and to know what mosses want and what they like and everything like that. But anyways, has UV lights, which help in anthocyanin production, has royal blue, has 625 nanometer red, has, I think about four larger cool whites, and then 8 smaller cool whites, and that's all on channel 1. And then on channel 2, you have just 8 warm whites. And so, of course, you can mix the 2 channels, plus you have the moonlight setting. What's great about the fixtures, it's really simple to program. It doesn't have all these weather patterns. It's not, going totally crazy with Wi-Fi and everything like that. But it's just very simple, and I like that. You have a nice sunrise, sunset, and a moonlight. And what's great about the ramp up and ramp down is you can set it from 10 minutes to 2 hours. And for those of you that want smooth step downs and step ups for the ramping, if you do about 20 to 30 minutes, it's very smooth. When I did it out to an hour, it did get a little bit more choppy. And so I have mine set at 20 minutes, and has just all that built in right to the Deluxe fixture. And the Deluxe fixture, you can daisy chain to a basic model, so you can connect them together, and then the Deluxe controls the basic model. And so the basic model is actually $50 cheaper. The Deluxe is $350, and the basic is $300. But it comes with the daisy chain. You don't have to buy it separate like some other companies. The mounting gooseneck is really nice. It's really sleek. Unlike other companies, they have all the wires inside the bar, inside the tubing. You can hide all the wires. It comes with everything you need. You don't need to buy a bunch of extra stuff, although the mounting arms are sold separately for $60. That being said, it's still reasonably priced. As well, I said it's simple. It has everything built in. You can still hook it up to a third-party controller. You can use a Digital Aquatics Archon, or you can use a Neptune Apex to get more versatility and flexibility within programming the lighting, if you hook it up to a third-party controller. And it works on a tablet and everything like that. And I think my contact, he didn't know if it worked on a phone, but I looked into the Digital Aquatics, and it looks like they do have the Archon available on the smartphone and everything like that. So you can get more out of it if you decide to get a third-party controller, but I'm the kind of person that likes simplicity. I don't really care about the weather patterns and the gimmicks and everything. I just want a smooth ramp up, ramp down, and a nice moonlight. One thing before I move on, what I did notice is that, when you program it, you have it shut off at, let's say, 10 p.m. So I have it shut off at 10 p.m. That's not when it ends its ramp down. It starts its ramp down at 10 p.m. So if I shut it off at 10 p.m. and I have my ramp down set for 20 minutes, it's going to go from 10 to 10:20, and it's going to ramp down. But what I've noticed, let's say it goes from 10 to 10:20 for the ramp down, and then I set my moonlight at 10:20, I've noticed that the ramp down actually will end a minute early. So it's going to not go from 10 to 10:20. The ramp down will go from 10 to 10:19. So that might be something they want to look at, because what I've noticed is it will actually shut off at 10:19. Then there's a minute of darkness. Then my moonlight comes on at 10:20 instead of, going from 59 seconds to 60 seconds and coming on. For some reason, there's a gap. So what I did is I have the light set to go to 1020, right? So it goes, the ramp down goes from 10 to 1020, but then I set the moonlight to come on at 1019. And what that does is it creates a smooth transition from the ramp down to the moonlight. So keep that in mind, and we'll look at some of the configurations here in a minute, but it's so easy to program, guys. It's a couple steps. You control 3 different channels. Channel 1, I talked about all the LEDs on that. Channel 2, and then the moonlight. Of course, you have the potentiometers. You can do the different intensity, the different temperature, just like Kessel. It also has the matrix configuration like Kessel, so you get really good color rendering, better color rendering than even Radion or Max Spec or Aqua Illuminations, because their lights aren't as close together. The matrix really makes them close together. And another thing that's great, like I said, it comes with the daisy chain, comes with all the cables you need to hook the lights together. It also comes with 2 different lenses, so you're not stuck with a 90-degree lens or an 80-degree lens or a 120-degree lens. It comes with a 110-degree lens, and it comes with an 80-degree lens, and you can just easily screw, the 110-degree lens out and pop an 80 in there. The 80 is going to be less spread. The 80 is going to be more intense, so you're going to get even higher par. Just to give you an idea, my lights are at 24 inches from the bottom of the substrate. I'm using the 110 degree, and if you look at their charts, that still puts me at 95 par for one fixture. I have 2 fixtures, so here in the middle of the tank mixing together, I'm well over 100 par at 24 inches above the lowest point using 110 degree angles. My whole point is these puppies put out a lot of power. So I'm going to have the par charts in the description. I'll have some, guides and everything like that in the description. Some of their videos will go into how to do the lens and everything like that. My video isn't going to be so much, the mechanics of it and everything like that. I'm just going to be talking about what I like about it and what I dislike about it. So let's continue on. So if you want to compare it to the Radion or the Aqua Illuminations Prime, most of those are actually for reef tanks. You can adjust the color spectrum for a freshwater tank, but now you're not utilizing the maximum output of the LEDs. With an LED fixture that is configured for a freshwater tank, you're utilizing the maximum output. Given the Radion, I think the XR15W or whatever is made for freshwater tanks. It's made for smaller tanks. It's not on the same power output as this, and it's $350 because it's Radion. This is $350. What's great, the Deluxe controls the basics, so the basics only $300. The arm, again, is sold separately for $60. What I don't like about any mounting arm, to be honest, is you can kind of see the hardware in the tank, like where the hardware mounts onto the tank. If you have a black background or the light really isn't reflecting onto the wall, it's not going to matter because you're not going to see the cables or anything like that. But for someone that wants to have a crisp white background, you're probably going to want to hang the lights, given they do have some loops on the lights, so you can hang the lights with a hanging fixture if you want to. That's really my only gripe with it, is probably the hanging mount and that discrepancy with the time where you have it set for 10 to 10:20 or whatever, but then it shuts off a minute early. Those are probably my only 2 complaints. They do have fans. For a comparison, if you want to know how loud it is, it's comparable to like a PS4. I think the Xbox One is louder than the PS4. It seems like Xboxes are always louder. It's not quite as loud as, a processing computer, that's for sure. But I'd say if you have a PS4, it's probably, comparable to the noise level of a PS4. If you're talking or people are talking, your aquarium's in your living room or next to a TV or something, you're not going to hear it. It's not that loud. Plus, when the lights dim down, the fans go off. They do have, I believe, a 1-year, product warranty, and then of course a lifetime repair warranty. So you just pay for the cost of shipping and parts. Say down the road something breaks, you pay for shipping and parts, and they'll fix it for free. All right, so let's just go ahead and look at the programming real quick. It's super simple to do. You just hold the triangle button down and then press the square button. And then to work your way through all the different settings, you just press the square button and then you use the triangle button to change the time. So I'm just going to work through it. It's 4:08 right now. I have the start time for channel 1 to come on at 10 a.m. So I'm just working my way through it. I have it stopping, channel 1 stopping at 10:30. Channel 2 comes on at 10 a.m., stopping at 10:30. I now this is what I'm talking about. I guess I gave the wrong times, but I have my moonlight coming on at 10:49 because I have it stopping at 10:30, but then my ramp down is from 10:30 to 10:50 because I have it set for 20 minutes. So that's from 10:30 to 10:50, but I have the moonlight come on at 10:49, so it's a smooth transition. And then you'll see that I have the moonlight come on at 10:49, and I have the moonlight go off at 11:30 p.m. And then this is where it says start, stop. This is where it's the ramp up time. You can do it in increments of 10 all the way up to 2 hours. So you can see that I have mine set at 20. And then now we're back. Also, if you have the lights on and you want to override them, you can just press this and you can turn channel 1 off if you wanted. Go to channel 2, turn channel 2 off, back on, turn that on, turn the moonlight off. And you can also do that once the light turns off. So after the light's turned off, you can override the timer. So you can override the timer while it's during the light cycle, and you can override the timer while it's past the light cycle. That's basically it, guys. I mean, you don't have to pay for extra mounts. You don't have to pay for all these extra controllers. Everything's built in. It's super simple to program. You do it in a matter of seconds. It's simple. I like simplicity. If you want to get complex, you can still hook it up to a third-party controller.